I was gonna go. You know when you feel like you kind of got a nap, like you're super tired, but you can't like fall asleep. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm like, I can't do a nap. So why not make it? Why not talk to y'all? I don't have like any topics. I'm tired as curse words. So yeah, I don't expect much. But you know what? Let's be honest here. Not a lot of people are gonna watch this. So. But yeah, to start it off, okay, so yesterday I was at a beach, like the things that have sand and water or whatever, and I was just sitting there. It was like nice or whatever, like it was just you just see sky and water and stuff like that, which is pretty nice, I'd say. And just kind of sitting there, like there's like this little cliff, drop down, I'm sitting on a cliff, and then there's just this like stretch of sand, and then there's a little sandcastle that some kids probably built earlier, and these like teenagers walk by. They kind of just standing by it for a little bit, and they just kick it down and destroy it. And I'm like, it's like why? It's why? It's like this elaborate thing with like they sketch out names or whatever and stuff. And I'm like, dang, it's kind of sad. But yeah, so I thought about that. I've recently, I picked up some interesting traits of like taking photos of sunsets and doing whatever, all that kind of stuff. I'm not usually a sunset photo type of guy. Like I do it occasionally if it's like, wow, that's amazing. But now I started to do it like every single day. So on my phone, like 70% of the photos are sunsets now, and it's from like two different angles. Like I'll take a sunset of this angle, and there's like, oh, there's a mountain, or oh, there's there's like walking area, or that, and I'll get like two different perspectives, and I'll do that. And so that's something I've noticed. Maybe I'm getting too old. Maybe that's just how it is, but. Notice that. I also noticed that, I don't know. I also like I over the past like few months or whatever, I started waking up early, and my family and stuff like that, like they wake up super early. I just, no matter what I do, I just cannot go to bed early or like wake up early. And by early, I mean like 5. Like I can't wake up. I stay up too late. And I enjoy like nighttime and chilling, listening to music or doing whatever too much to like go to bed at like 9 every night or 9 or 10. I'm like 23, so it's like a little early. But no, so what always happens is I stay up to like 11. I sometimes set this 5:30 alarm because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna get a good start to the day, do all this stuff, and then I leave at like 7. So I have this block of time where I kind of chill a little bit, watch some videos, do this. Do all like the stuff you normally do, and then I leave, and then I get like I'm on time. But what always happens is instead of 5:30, then I'm like, not really feeling this one. Instead of 6 o'clock, not really feeling this one, and instead of 6:30, then I try to get ready to do all this stuff, and you usually try to like watch a video or something like that, and it usually ends up being like 7:15, then 7:30. Leave at 7:30, and I'm like, damn, like I just can't wake up early to like do it on time, stuff like that. Like I need to get better at that, but I like wake up. I feel like 6:30, like consistent. Like it's kind of early, I think, but not early enough, I guess, for me. But that's interesting. Been listening to a ton. I don't know about y'all, but it's just so much music to listen to. Like it's just new albums all the time and all this stuff. Like 21 Pilots, big fan of them. They release music, and it's just like. It's weird how like you watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies, or I watch a decent bit of movies, TV shows, all that stuff. But something about music is different. Like when the lights are off. I don't know why I do this. It's like the middle of the day, but when the lights are off, just no like sound except like cars going by or whatever, and you throw on a song on like Spotify or like a music video or something like that. It feels like you can kind of like be in a different place. Like I noticed that. Like with movies and stuff like that, it does that like after you watch and stuff like that. But movies and stuff are like 2 or 3 hours. But like the songs like in like a few minutes, I feel like you can kind of go to a different galaxy, feel all this stuff, and it's kind of like I find that super cool, especially like when you're like, at least currently like life is just kind of just quiet. I would say like it's just I'm not like sad or any of this stuff or mad or any words that rhyme as well, but just not much going on except the grind or whatever I'm doing. Like kind of just do stuff. Like I just live on my own, doing stuff, going back. I have some friends and stuff like that, but they're a little far away. So I'm like kind of just grinding all this stuff. So a lot of nights I find myself just at nighttime just clicking on a song, listening to that, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty cool. Like that's pretty dope. I mean, I'm holding a mic. That's only a thing because I like music, and so I like holding it like this. Like you can hold it like do the finger thing or whatever, so like that. Like this is not even on or anything. I just like it. Like it's just something about it that's just so cool that someone saying like is singing just saying stuff fancy. Like it's like for someone to do that over like some instruments stuff like that and for it to feel like some like thing and do something different for you is kind of crazy. Because like movies and stuff, like they're filmed at a certain spot with people in like certain outfits and stuff like that. Like if it's like the Notebook, it's in like the like early it's like in the 50s or 60s or whatever and stuff like that. So they're wearing these outfits, takes place, buildings, cars, all this stuff are like that. So you're kind of already transported. But with a song, like, I mean, you can literally just listen to it without seeing anything, and it just like does something. Like I think that's really cool. And I'm sure 99% of people clicked off by now. But yeah, it's just interesting. I find that like anytime I've been by myself, been alone or whatever stuff like that, I feel like music hits differently than when you're with other people. Like I've hung out, you go to like the occasional party, the once a year party thing or something like that, and you like listen to music, stuff like that. But when it's like 10:30 at night, lights are off, and the only thing is like street lights are on from like outside, you just throw on a song, and you're just like, that's pretty dope. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I don't know, it's just interesting because I started making this because I'm like, I legitimately cannot think of ideas for making anything else because I just don't know. Like, it's like recently I've just been lacking like inspiration for like making new stuff that I haven't already. Like, I don't want to just do the same thing over and over and over again, but I can't think of what else to do because I'm just kind of in this loop of doing the same thing over and over again. So it's kind of a weird spot to be in while talking about like I come back making this like podcast or whatever this is. I don't even know what this is, but coming back knowing that this is gonna get like 20 something views, not many interactions, watch time's probably gonna be less than a minute. Like more like it's just how it goes. Like I know that and I'm still doing it. Like I think that's kind of insane. Like I feel like that's kind of like I didn't even prepare any like topics or anything because I cannot think of stuff. Like it's like when I like being quiet, like it's like I've lived at this place since like September. I've like bounced back on it, driving back home to Arizona and stuff like that, and so I've not been here the entire time, but I've been here a decent amount of time, and it's just certain things just don't change. Like I feel like it's tough for a vibe or whatever, or like a feeling you have towards a place to change throughout a course of a time you're staying there. If there's no people around or there's no stuff necessarily happening that could change that. Like I mean, being here has kind of felt the same since September as it does now in like end of March. Like it was end of September, got there, now it's end of March, and it feels the same. Like it doesn't feel like I've been here necessarily. It feels like it kind of feels like when you go to a different city, different state, different country, whatever the heck, on like a trip. And I mean, I've never done like work trip, but let's say you're going to staying at a hotel or staying at an Airbnb somewhere, and you're doing stuff like that's kind of how this has felt for October, November, December, January, February, March, like 6 months. So it's just weird. Like I just don't know. It's tough to kind of explain this stuff, and it's one of the reasons why I can't think of what stuff to make, like what videos and stuff to make, because I'm like. I'll make these videos, do this and that, like make TikToks and all that stuff, and it doesn't, like I'm kind of just in this flat line where the videos do about the same. I kind of do the same thing every day, so it's just like I'm like digging and clawing to try to think or do anything that I haven't already done, and it's an interesting spot. It's a unique spot, especially like when there's like when it's just kind of you, like it's just me kind of like chilling, like. Got the man above, God bless, but yeah, it's interesting. I gotta say, like it's it's a weird experience. Like I'm in a very like pretty place. Like there's a lot of cool things. Very very thankful for it. And it's kind of weird to go about it and be here and do all this stuff just completely alone. Like it feels strange. It feels very, I don't know. It feels like staying at a hotel where you're there for something completely different, and you like hear people in other rooms and you see stuff going on or whatever. So I don't even know what this example is, but like let's say you see people at like the pool and stuff like that, but you're kind of just there in your hotel room just trying to think of what to do. Like it's a weird thing, but I don't necessarily feel like a pull or desire to do anything or feel like, oh, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, stuff like that. It just feels like I'm just supposed to be kind of by myself. Like that's why, like when I go back home or do this or that, like it doesn't feel right. Like this feels the most right, even though it's not necessarily the most like exciting. Like I would say it's the exact opposite. Like I know coming here, I kind of have an idea of what's gonna happen. Like obviously stuff changes and kind of go with the flow and stuff like that. But when you're not around people, or there's no external factors that are gonna change your life crazily or one day or do this or do that, you kind of know what's gonna happen. It's strange. Like, and to be frank, if I didn't have faith, I'd probably be going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or whatever. Because it's just because when the same thing happens over and over and over again, and it kind of feels like you're kind of in the same spot in a sense, it's tough to not go a bit crazy because you feel like there's no progress going. Recently, life just kind of felt like it goes slower than normal. So, in a sense, these like repetition, life's going slow, it's all this stuff. It makes the past 6 months kind of feel like a bit of a dream. And I wouldn't necessarily like a dream like, oh, I'm doing insane, but I mean like it doesn't feel like real life. It hasn't felt like real life, and I don't think, honestly, my life in general has felt like real life in like 4 or 5 years. But in particular, the past like 6 months or so, it's felt like I'm in like some like hallway between who I was in the past and who I'm gonna be. Like it feels like I'm just walking in some blank hallway, and there's pictures up of like places I've been. Like there's pictures up of where I'm at, like California or something like that, or Arizona when I was there, or this or that, or that thing or that thing. Like there's stuff along the walls, but it's mostly just a blank hallway, and I'm kind of just walking on it, and I don't know what's ahead. Like the future is just all a blur, and I'm just kind of walking along, and I'm just me and the man above, just kind of walking along, just curious, and it's. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain this. Like I journal like a few times a day. I write stuff, and I find myself writing the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. So that's why like when it comes with ideas for this stuff, like I'm not one to talk about like gossip or news or any of that stuff. And I like music, so I like talking about music and doing all that stuff. But I don't want to be like 1,000 other channels talking about the same things or trying to be like, oh, reacting to this. Like I just. Honestly, it's just weird because I want to do a lot of stuff, but it doesn't feel like there's really, and it's really like a thing that's possible. Like a lot of stuff that I want to do doesn't feel, in a sense, possible right now. So it's weird because I'm kind of just floating along, and I have like all this motivation, drive, desire, and all this stuff, but I'm like currently like I don't really know what to do to quench that. So I make videos, do all this stuff, but I'm like. Is anyone even watching this? Is this even worth of making these videos and stuff like that? Like I'll just kind of post and do all this stuff, and there's really no one in my ear or no one saying like, oh, you should do this or oh, do this or whatever and stuff like that. Like I think it's kind of strange. Like when I was around people making videos and stuff like that, like a lot of times I kept it quiet. Like I didn't say it, tell anyone I made videos until someone found out my Twitter, and then I started telling people. And that back then I was making like just. No face cam football commentary videos, and now I'm like trying to think of like actual videos, but I also don't want to make videos that pigeonhole me into, oh, it's this kind of person, or oh, that's the kind of style, and I don't want to like build a fan base of people that like this kind of style, but that's not really what I want to do. Like it's an interesting spot to be in when you've so much stuff that you want to do, but it doesn't feel like the right time for like any of it. Like it feels. Like I kind of feel the same way when it comes to like relationships. I know this is like very way off topic, but I feel like it's not really the right time for any of that kind of stuff in my life. Even though I'm in my early to mid 20s, I don't have any experience, not even close. But it's like it doesn't feel like the right time still. And it's like I obviously I want like obviously it'd be fantastic, but it's interesting. Like 2023, 2024 of my life, and I don't know about any of you guys, it's felt like the time of like the waiting game. Like it just feels like a time of kind of just sitting in the doctor's office, sitting in that chair, just waiting for your name to be called and going in and doing whatever. Like it doesn't feel wrong, doesn't feel whatever and stuff like that. It just feels like, yeah, this is kind of just how it is. And I'm just kind of surprised by how long it's been like this. Like it's been a decent bit of time. Like I'd say like years almost of me just kind of just chilling. And what's weird is I feel like life usually gives you like a little bits and pieces throughout the way that gets you to like a complete picture. Like let's say there's a puzzle of your life and all the stuff you want to do, people you like, where you want to live and all that stuff. Like you kind of get little bits and pieces, like you're in a relationship, or you get that job, or you do that and stuff like that. But it feels like anytime I do something or whatever it's like that, it kind of just doesn't happen, or it doesn't quite feel right. Like so I'm like actively not wanting to stay or whatever. Like I'm always wanting to go off and do like I'll move out, or I'll leave this or do that, or I'll try this new thing or whatever. So I'm not. It never feels like anything's really concrete. So I just keep drifting more and more into the spot where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, but it honestly feels right. They're like this peaceful and all stuff, but it's just like it still doesn't change the fact like I just want to do a lot of stuff, and I just don't feel like it's been the right time for me to do like really any of the stuff that I want to do. So I don't know what that means, but I don't know if any of you guys can relate to it. This just sounds insane, but yeah, some of the stuff that was on my mind, some of the stuff I want to talk about, and hope your day's going great. If literally any one person is here, have a great life, and you can check out the video or whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.